Hello and welcome back. Today's message is for a very specific group of people, so take what resonates and leave the rest. I'm feeling like a message from some of your guides that you've been in a very, very intense relationship, whether it's a situationship, an actual official relationship, which I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you literally have no idea what the status of this relationship is. Okay. So that it's very intense. It's like nothing you've ever felt before. And your guides know that you're confused and have sent you here to help clear the confusion. Remember, if this doesn't resonate for you, that's okay. This is for a very specific group of people. So you're being asked, is this intensity truly the depth that you think it is right now? It feels so intense. Are you mistaking that intensity for true depth with this person? And if these words from your guides are agitating you, please, then you need to think about it even harder. You might need to step away and come back. This video will be here whenever you're ready. So when we're raised and we see examples of love, examples of relationships, I want you to think back about what you saw. Did you see stability? Did you see faithfulness, true faithfulness? Did you see manipulation? Would you recognize manipulation? So even in movies and stuff, there's just this idea of struggle love, that love is supposed to be hard. How many times have we heard in our life, love is supposed to be hard. I don't know that I agree with that. I have so many beautiful relationships in my life that are so easy because there's a framework there for healing and repair and trust. Everybody in the situation knows that no one's going to take too much, so no one has to keep tallies or think about it being transactional because everybody knows that everybody gives as much as they can. Why can't romantic love be the same way? Why do we have to paint it like it's got to be this big dramatic thing where you're fighting and it's a push and pull? If you were taught that, if that was the only example you saw, then a normal, stable love is going to feel boring. It's going to feel wrong. Not because it is wrong, but because it is not familiar to your nervous system. Your nervous system doesn't feel like it's at home unless it's in struggle, in chaos, in the push-pull dynamic. And that push-pull dynamic will make you so high, so spiritually, so physically, so emotionally high when that person comes back to you. But in a push-pull dynamic, when they're away, you're going to crash so hard. So the thought of being, I'm sorry, my throat, it's just, I feel like I was not like this before I started this video. So you probably have a really hard time expressing yourself. The spirit guides are trying to express that. You are struggling to express yourself because you're afraid if you express yourself truly, they're going to disappear or there's going to be more drama. And so you repress your voice so that you can keep the peace so that they don't leave. But they're just using that as a tool, right? And also the idea of like, I'm getting the feeling of like deep frustration, like, oh, you just can't get out because you have to be composed, because you have to be the strong one, because you have to be the adult. But do you want to date an emotional toddler? Do you want to be stuck to an emotional toddler? Do you want to feel this frustration forever? And if this is resonating for you, your guides really want you to know that you are here listening to this because you are ready whether you're at step 1 or step 500, because it can take a lot of steps to remove yourself from these kinds of programs, conditionings, attitudes, that kind of thing. But that you have been knowing for a while that something's wrong, and it doesn't have to be like this. You just don't have a concept, an example, a system in place in your mind and your nervous system for what it should look like. And I'm always saying this, like, if you were to depend on movies, so let's say the parental figures or other adults in your life when you were growing up were all kind of unhealthy or toxic relationships, or and you know, a lot of times people will think that their examples were pretty healthy, but when you really dig into it, there was a lot of subtle, like, oh, maybe one person did all the work, or one person kept their mouth shut so that everything would be peaceful. That's not actually healthy. That's not actually a good relationship. If one person just shuts up and does everything to keep the peace, that's toxic. That's not healthy, because it means one person is emotionally bullying the other through silence, through jabbing words, through a million different things in order to keep the other person in compliance with what they want. Even if what they want is just to never have to do anything, you know, weaponized incompetence or whatever. So if you've only seen these and then you only watch movies, movies are full of struggle love. Oh, we have to fight and stay together. And you know, the whole ride or die attitude that's pushed, or even soulmate attitude, it mythologizes a specific person, that they are your one and only, before earning it. And if you get caught in this dynamic, because your nervous system and your conditioning has said that this is what love looks like, it's going to feel comfortable, even if it's the most uncomfortable, painful thing ever, because it's familiar. But your guides really want you to know that it's time for you to step up to healing this deep wound, taking some time to learn what true love really means. And you start that by turning the love onto yourself. Because as long as you are looking for validation and love externally, but you don't love yourself, you're looking for someone else to fill a hole in you, and you're going to accept way less than you deserve it. You're going to accept those familiar trauma bond patterns, or those familiar struggle love patterns, or those familiar ideas that see how my voice is cleared up once I gave the message, that you're not, that you just need to shut up in order to keep the peace. And that's not what you deserve. So much better than that. Your guides are like kicking and screaming about this. They're like, you are better than this. You are a queen or king or prince or princess. Why should somebody make you small? You are not small. You are magnificent. You are a whole universe. And all they care about is the surface. All they care about is what they can get you to do. You contain a universe. And they're reducing you to, don't show me your emotions, shut your mouth, or I'll leave. Who are they? Who are they? Who are they? The audacity, right? But they don't always say it directly like that. They don't always say it meanly. They don't always call names. It can be very subtle. Like, they can be very victim mentality. They can be very weepy. They can be very subtle about, like, oh, but I just don't know what I'd do without you. They're not, it's not always dramatic. It can also be warm persistency. So you think, oh, well, this person's nice, but then they subtly erode your boundaries. So you say, you know what, this isn't working for me. And then they just keep acting like you never said that. And so there's so many ways that this kind of familiarity, this nervous system and conditioning familiarity, can pull you back into a dynamic with a person over and over again, or multiple people who are basically bringing chaos and robbing you of your peace, because You may have even been in a moment between relationships or where you stepped away from this person, and the emptiness made you feel like you were going to panic because your nervous system, your subconscious, your conditioning has no, this is completely new territory for you to just be with yourself. And in that moment, it's easier to run back to that familiarity, even if it's terrible. But you'll never understand how bad that is until you step away from it and spend a lot of time loving yourself and learning to truly love yourself, which then raises your vibration so that when you go back, like your instinct after you raise your vibration and you do the self-healing work, your conditioning, your nervous system instinct might be to run back to that person. But if you do, you're going to be frankly disgusted. You're going to be like, I can't step back into this. But also with that higher vibration, you open yourself up to other people with higher vibrations, with more emotional maturity. Because remember, if you're in this lower vibration energy because of subconscious conditioning and emotional programming around struggle love or chaos love, or that love is supposed to be so hard, someone could walk by, look at you and say, oh, I feel like I could connect to that person, but feel that your energy is still down there, still down in that struggle love place. The person who could be right for you, the person you could be truly happy and stable with, but you're still emotionally unstable, longing for the familiarity of this kind of struggle love, or chaos or trauma bond. And that person's going to walk on by because they aren't going to resonate with you energetically. And so if you don't want to attract this kind of energy anymore, you've got to step back and learn to love yourself and raise your energy. And like I said, even just from a practical standpoint, a person who loves peace is not going to go with a person who is always attracting chaos, right? I mean, it makes perfect sense, right? Because once you find your peace, and your guides are calling you to do this, to find your peace, your self-love, your inner worth, so that you don't accept this kind of bullshit anymore, right? So, but when you get to that space, number one, you won't give up your peace for anything. You will realize that you are self-contained, self-validating, self-loving, which actually attracts the exact right kind of partner for you if you still want one. There's this kind of strange law of the universe, I guess. I won't say it's like 100% or anything, but I've noticed it as a pattern, and a lot of people talk about it. But basically, when you stop grasping for something specific and you let go, it makes space for the right things to come to you. But if you could get really rigid, like, oh, I need a relationship, and it needs to go like this, it's always going to feel like a struggle. Because let's say you meet somebody and you start fantasizing about a future with them. You don't even really know them. Then you get in a relationship with them and you're very disappointed because they're being themselves. It's irrelevant whether themselves is a good or bad person at this point. Or I'm sorry, the right or wrong person for you at this point. Because they're already the wrong person for you. Because you've already told your mind who they are. You didn't let them show you who they were. You told your mind who they were through fantasizing about. And so then when them in real life cannot match that fantasy, you're going to be disappointed. And you're going to try to, you may have in the past had a pattern of trying, like, oh, I'm going to help them, I'm going to fix them. They showed you who they are. Did you listen? Or did you override it with their potential? Did you override it with your hopes and your dreams about them? Instead of stepping back and letting them be themselves and saying, you know what, themselves doesn't match myself. So I'm going to make space so that there's room for a person who does match. These videos are never blame, beloveds. We are all struggling. We've all got different conditioning. We all have different traumas. This is always about opening your eyes. Everyone is responsible for their own behavior. So if you're stuck in something like a trauma bond, if you're stuck in something like a push-pull dynamic, you are not responsible for the fact that that person is being toxic. You're only responsible for whether you stick around for it, right? Well, this message was pretty deep, but I'm so proud of you. You're doing such a great job. And I will see you next week, beloveds.